Florida stone crabs are not just a delicious delicacy, they're also a very valuable part of our Florida economy, and they are in serious decline. Dr. Philip Gravenese from Mote Marine Laboratory is here to talk about what can be done to save the species. And you brought a friend with you.
I did, yes.
Ooh.
And we're going to get him right out.
He's right behind Pam.
Yeah, right. Is this a he or she?
This is a she. So this is a female stone crab.
Because it's International Women's Day.
Correct. And
so
so
upside down.
we, in Florida, we harvest the claws. We break the claws off, and we put the animal back in the water, and then we, it's thought that the crab will regenerate its claw and re-enter the fishery in future years.
Oh, so this one could grow several claws?
That's, yep, they can grow several claws. It takes about a year, though, for them to grow the claw back. So it takes a little bit of time.
How long do they live?
About 6 to 8 years is their life expectancy.
Very good.
Yeah.
So they start out, you brought some pictures of how they start out over here. Tell us about that. Not so big when the little guys are hatched.
And they look completely different.
Hatch? No.
They do.
They
do.
hatch. Okay, they're an egg.
So yep, the picture there on the left, far left, is their eggs, and those black dots in the circles are their eye spots.
Oh.
And so she'll have about 300,000 eggs on her abdomen or stomach when she puts out the egg mass. They're on there for about 2 weeks, and then they hatch into that alien-looking, spiky larva animal that you see there right next to the eggs. And they'll stay at the larval stage for about a month. And then eventually they molt into what looks like a crab tadpole. That's where they try to find a settlement habitat, usually in coastal areas, nearshore habitats. And then 2 years later, they'll turn into the one that ends up on our dinner plate.
Oh, but we're having a big decline.
Right, yeah, so the fishery typically brings in, or used to bring in, 3.5 million pounds per year. It's estimated to cost between $30 to $35 million a year to Florida's economy, so it's important for jobs and the commercial industry. But if you look at the trend over the last 10 to 12 years, it's a slow decline. And we think it's declined by about 25%.
Oh, my.
Wow.
Well, how is the impact of that being felt?
So there's a variety of things that we think are impacting that fishery. One that we're looking at Mote in my lab is the effects of pH, low pH. So
And you brought something to kind of explain
Yes,
that
you're going
for
to
us.
show us how that works.
Right, yeah. There are two ways that the pH in the ocean is changing, two main ways. One is through coastal runoff, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But here, we're going to do a little bit of demo. So for the ocean, if we're going to pretend that this glass is our ocean.
Okay.
And you can stir that up for real quick.
What'd you put in there?
That's the pH indicator. So this is going to simulate a pH scale. So the bleach up here is basic. It's the high end of the bases.
Okay.
Things like citrus, lemons, oranges are more acidic. They're on the low end of the pH scale. The ocean's right in the middle. And one way that the ocean's pH is declining is through carbon dioxide diffusing into the water. So if you just go ahead and gently blow, you have to get the straw down all the way into the water. Yep, there you go.
Okay, so she's
She's
putting carbon dioxide into the water.
Right.
As carbon dioxide is getting into the ocean water in increasing levels.
How?
There
Oh,
does
look at it
this a
change
lot,
color.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
Pam, look what you're doing.
man.
Oh my goodness! All the blues got it's green.
Okay, so when we
I
get
love
to
making
Where
bubbles.
is the who's blowing into our ocean?
yeah, so the carbon dioxide is going into the ocean. What does that mean for the ocean creatures?
So in some habitats, the pH is decreasing at a faster rate than other habitats.
Okay.
Depends on location. And so the carbon dioxide is coming from carbon emissions just in society in general and
Right.
globally. The other way that pH is changing is through runoff. So after a rainy season, lots of nutrients get pushed into our coastal waters in Florida. And so in some locations in Florida, on the outskirts of like the Everglades Bay, we're seeing a pH decline by 3 times faster than what we project for the end of the
Oh.
century.
So all of this is bad for the crabs.
Yeah.
What can people do?
Yeah. What can we do now?
Right, yeah, so the stone crabs, what we've seen happen is their hatching success. The number of larvae that hatch from the embryos decreases by 30%. What things that we can do are very simple, actually. We can pick up after your pets, and that helps reduce the nutrients out in the rainy season. Follow the fertilizer rules, or limit the amount of fertilizer you put on your lawn. Plant with native plants because they help stabilize the soil, which helps limit the runoff.
Yeah.
You could also help some of the research too by using the Mote Protect Our Reef license plate, the Florida
idea.
tags.
Yeah.
I mean, that money goes right towards scientific studies
That's
like
good
this.
to know. Well, there's so much more to learn, and you've got a lecture coming up, right?
We do, yes. I will be presenting Monday night and talking a little bit more detail about this study. And we'll also be kind of introducing a new study that we just finished on the effects of red tide on stone crabs.
Oh, this is great.
So if all
For
this
more
goes well, we get it down to below $100 a pound. Is that what that's all I care about?
That's
For more
hopefully.
information on Dr. Phillips' lecture and on all of Mote Marine Laboratories programs and research, you can go to their website. Next, we'll meet this weekend's McCurdy comedy headliner. Yes. Oh, look at that.